Alright, this is video 2, Mobile CSS. We just did our HTML. So let's start cracking. So we're going to do this mobile first. So let's bring up our CSS here, and let's add our style. Oop, and get rid of that. So let's see, what do we have to start with here? This is basically what it looks like right now. I don't know, what is this, black? Oh, dark. Yeah, I don't need that. That's that dark class, that is our ID. That's actually this guy right here, and this creates an overlay that's normally for just the home page, but it looks like it's stretching. So we're just gonna remove that. I don't think I'm gonna need it right now. There we go. So that's gone. But yeah, this is what it looks like without any CSS. It's just a big mess. So, and we're going to turn this into something that's not a big mess. It's pretty. So what we always do to start with mobile first is you go up to these phone options and you go to 5SE, because that's 320 pixels wide. That won't be probably the smallest screen you'll have to worry about. Who knows what will happen in the future, but this is what I like to start with. And then I'll make another media query for 375 just to make sure everything fits. This is about the size for mid-sized phones, so I try to make sure I also have a 375 breakpoint in case I need it to make things fit as they should on these bigger phone screens. But let's start with here. Now the first thing we need to do, I want to get my background set, and I need to fix this so that it looks like this. So this doesn't have like a box. It's on top. It's not sitting in its own box like this is. This is sitting in its own box. So let's go to the style. So this hero is pulling the wrong one. So landing. Okay, so there's that. Let me just get rid of all this, honestly. So it looks like, okay, so this is going on the entire. Oh, that's right, because these are all part of the hero, and it's stretching them incredibly far. So what I need to do, let's get rid of this dark, that's useless CSS. Honestly, I think I'm just going to start over. I'm just going to start from scratch on this one. So let's get rid of all this CSS for the landing section, and we're just going to start over. Number one, I need to floating. I need to get rid of these floating cards because they're messing things up. So what I'm going to do first is hero.floating. I'm just going to display none of them right now because they're kind of screwing. Yeah, see, that's how it should look. They're screwing things up. So we're just going to tuck these away for now so that we can work here. And now, so what do we got here? Archivo? Ah, geez. Let's see if this is a font, a Google font. Archivo, okay, cool. So what I like to do, because I don't like to load in Google CDNs. Let's make this full screen. What we're gonna do, we're gonna download family. Show in folder. So it's gonna show up here, and then you're just gonna extract all. Extract, yeah. Okay, then we go into here, and this is where they all are. So now what I gotta do is I gotta move this into my folder, my fonts folder. Let me get in there really quick. So we're at Kennedy House of Pancakes. So right here, this is my Kennedy House of Pancakes folder. So I'm going to add a folder for fonts. And I'm going to go in here. And what I'm going to do is I would want, so it looks like this is regular. Oh, here we go. I got them all in here. So what is condensed, semi-expanded? Okay, so this is just regular. So I want, what is this? I want bold. Looks like bold, regular. What's this? Bold. I need italic, regular, bold. Okay, so it looks like I just need fonts. Okay, so I need bold. I'm going to hit Control so I can select the next one. I need italic, and I need regular. So I'm going to take these. I'm going to hit Control C, click in here, Control V to paste. So I think those are the only ones I need based on the design. Doesn't look like we have anything else. There's no lights. Looks like it's just regular and bold. There's no semi-bold. There's no medium. That's just bold again. So yeah, it looks like they're keeping it simple on this one. Let's see. That's bold. That's bold. And there it is. Let's go back to design. And that's bold. Okay, so I think we got everything we need. Now we need to do our @font faces. So we actually got, I got Kent Scott here that I'm also working on at the same time. We're just waiting for final design approval from the client because I guess some things changed. So let's go into this one because I already had to load in a font for this. So these are what you need, @font face. So we're going to go ahead and just copy one of these. And let's go back to ours. Styles. I want to put this so that it's everywhere to be accessible. And I want to call this, what is it? Archivo. Okay, this will be this will be regular. And then this is going to pull it from archival regular. That's the wife texting me asking if Kitty is in the house. Yeah, he's in the house. He's sleeping. She thought she heard a kitty out. Yeah, we just got a kitty. And she's worried about him getting outside. I gotta text her really quick. No, he's sleeping right here. Yeah, he likes to sleep under my desk on top of my feet, and that's kind of what he's doing right now. So now that's, I'm gonna turn my phone on vibrate. Okay, so we got Archival regular, and then always have font display swap. I don't know why you need it, but you just need it. And now we gotta do these for all of them, 1 and 2. So we're gonna do Archivo bold, Archivo italic, and that's gonna be bold, and that's gonna load the italic. So this is how you import fonts from Google, and you store them locally in your files, and how you use them. That way, you can save yourself from having to load the Google Fonts CDN and bog down your site, and just have Google PageSpeed give you another flag like, hey, this is a third-party CDN. Even though it's us, it's slowing you down. So this is a great alternative and something I recommend doing all the time. Don't use Google Fonts CDN. Download them locally, save them in Fonts folder, and just literally copy this code word for word. And then just change your so this is where you load them in the source. You load them here. This font family, you're naming it here. This is what you're calling it. And then when you want to use it, that's what you'll use right here. So that's what that is. Now that we got that, I want to set the font family on the body. So right now it's Roboto. We're going to do Archivo. Is that what that is? I'm just going to copy it. Archivo. Okay, there it is. So when I save that, these will be Archivo 24 pixels. There you go. See, we got it. It's working. So that's good. So this is core styles CSS. This is what I was talking about earlier, having a CSS style sheet that is shared by all pages. So when I add this font face to the core styles, this CSS sheet is going to be on all the pages, the menu, the about, the contact. This will be on all pages. So all pages have access to this font face. And that's another reason why I recommend getting a core styles or root styles or core CSS that all pages share, so that you don't have to repeat yourself on CSS that's on like your headers, your footers, your buttons, your text, your variables, etc. So that's what I use. Now let's get over to this guy here. So obviously I want this H1, I want you to be bold. So let's H1 goes above hero cards because it's up here, hero cards is down here, so we go in the order that they appear in the HTML. That's the same order they appear in the CSS. So hero is the container that's in, so it goes first. And then H1, that's the one I'm working with here. So I'm just going to do hero H1, color white. Let me see that does it. Okay, cool. Are you getting a font weight somewhere? It looks pretty bold. I'm gonna copy it. I'm just gonna copy this and put it on here, and that's gonna be dash bold. Okay, just to put that on there. Text align center. Okay. Oops. Okay, so there's that. Oops, wrong button. I'm gonna scroll this down. There we go. So this is 56, and that's obviously too big. And this is 18. So I want this to be big and bold, but it's not going to be 56. So let's do font size 40. Let's see what that looks like. That is awful. 30. I'm wondering if I can live with that. Let's do 35. That is ugly, ugly. I think that's what I gotta stick with, 32. And then hero H2, we're gonna do a font size of 18. Color white. So why is this coming along? See, font weight, normal. Okay, that's better. For some reason, everything has a font weight on it. Is that on my body? Font weight, normal. Yeah, cover everybody. There we go. That's better. I think maybe the weight of the font is bolded by default, but no, that's kind of weird. And remember when I said I didn't want dark? I didn't want this guy. I'm gonna go back on that because I don't like this. You see how it goes over the white or the plate? That's just not good design. It's not good accessibility either, because this just gets lost in that. So that's one of the reasons why I have a dark. It's just an empty div that I style to basically be an overlay that covers all of this. So here's hero, here's dark. So we're gonna give it a background of black, right? Opacity, I want to see through it. Position absolute, because I want it to be. I don't want it to be positioned normally in the DOM. I want it to break that and just kind of float around. And because I have position absolute, I have to go to its container parent, or position relative. Every time you do position absolute, the container class needs to have position relative. That's just how it is. I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. Just that's all you need to know. Position absolute, whatever its container is. Like so, like right here, this is an immediate child of hero. So that means hero has to be position relative, while this gets to be position absolute, so that we can place it absolutely wherever we want. And I want this to be height of 100%, width of 100%. I want it to be at the top 0, and I want it to be all the way to the left. So top 0, we'll make it start here, and left 0, we'll make it start here, and that'll be height 100%, width 100%, and I want it to be behind everything. So z index -1, and whenever I do a z index of -1 on a child, I always like to go to the parent and add a z index of 1. Sometimes that helps things, and that doesn't look like it's doing a good job. Let's see. So if I remove this. Background, opacity, position, height, width. Oh, I didn't save it. I had to save this, and there you are, and there you go. Okay, see now it's in the back, but 0.7 is a little dark. Let's try 5, because I still want to see this. This is where the I like this. Now what we need to do. So we have this kind of setup. I'm not done yet. Just to finish the aesthetics, this menu, I need to make it position absolute, and I need to take off its white. So we need to go to our core styles, and I think it's going to be a mobile wrapper. I don't know why this is a background on it, so let's go to here. It's at line 355. Let's go to line 355 of my little build kit of these pre-built settings. So let's get rid of that. And let's do position absolute. And when we do that, it breaks itself out of the normal flow of the DOM, meaning it doesn't have any weight. It doesn't push things around. It's basically, like I've said in my other videos, it is a ghost within the container. All of the elements can see it, but they can't touch it or interact with it. Freaks them out. And with this, when you have a position absolute element, anything that's inside of it, it's just so like this mobile wrapper container just forms around it. It has no inherent width or height anymore. You have to tell it. So how this is shrunken like this, I need to actually tell it like, hey, I want you to go 100%. And that's how we fix that. And now we got a background on this mobile nav. That was behind it. And that kind of changes things. So now, let's see, we got to that hamburger box. Can't quite see those guys. And there it is. Okay. So I'm going to go here. So line 270. So this is the hamburger spring. Here we go. Background. I'm going to do white. Is that not it? Let's try this one. Oh no, these are the active classes. So I need to go on. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. There, now they're all white. And I actually don't like how over it is. Where is it? Hamburger box. This menu button. Okay, right 2M. I don't like that. So 381. We're gonna make this 10. I want this as as close as I can over there. And this dark mode button's in the way, so we gotta go to dark CSS. This is also my my CSS sheet that I have that enables dark mode by default. It's already built. It's already in there. So now I got to make this dark light. So I got to find where the pseudo element is. Dark. See, dark. I have it as a pseudo element, and we're going to make this white. There we go. And now what I need to do is I want to make this like pretty much full screen. So we're going to go back to our style, and our hero, we're going to do min width. Whoops. Oh, sorry, min height of 100 VH, view height. So its minimum height will be 100% of its height of the screen. And sometimes this view height doesn't really play well with Safari. That's why we add min height. That's what I found in kind of my research, that if you add a min height of 100 VH, that will not, that will satisfy Safari, and you won't have a lot of bugs going on. So when we do that, you'll notice that this, when it starts right here, when I scroll, that's where it's going to start, right there. See, it's 100% the view height. And what I need to do now is I need to push this down. So I need to go to hero content. So here H1, H2. So this is the content. So it's the container. So that means it goes before the H1. So hero content. Your margin top of 100 pixels. Drop that down a little bit. And how do I feel about that? Let's do 80. Because we actually don't have a mobile design. So we're just taking a desktop version, and we're just translating it to mobile on the fly as we go. And I'm just trying to make sure all of my spacing is right. So we're going to have a menu. We're going to have the logo up here. When I get to dark mode, I'm actually going to change this. This is too bulky. I'm just going to change this button to be a moon, and then it'll turn into a sun. And I think I'm going to move it over here so that I can have plenty of space for the logo. That will be in the dark mode section. We'll go over that on how to change this button. But for now, let's get these buttons right. So now that I got everything else set up, so this button, let's go to our core styles, and we're going to go to the top. I got my buttons already lined out. Button solid. So first of all, let's go to, where's my root? Here you go. So this is CSS variables. This is a variable primary. So wherever I have -- primary, the value will be this. And you can do that for font sizes, for margins, right? You can set variables for anything you want. I just set this for the primary color. So when I save that and I go to here, the background is set to be var parentheses primary. That's how you call a variable for CSS variables. So when I do that, let's go ahead and say, yeah, there it is. See, it's the same. So when we scroll down, anywhere that has var primary for the background color or any of the colors, they're all going to have that purple. Let's see if anything else has it. What is it? Oh, it's just a button. Oh yeah, see, there's this border that has a var primary. So yeah, that's a neat little thing that I definitely recommend using. It helps you make your websites more templatized, so that when you build a website, you can just change your variable colors and the entire site just changes. So if you need to flip this around, like if I have to sell this to, if I have to sell another small business restaurant, and this design would also work for them, and it's not in the same market as the one these guys live in. Like if they're in a different state and they can benefit from this design that's already done, but their colors are yellow, I just go into my primary and I change it from that color. I change this, I just make it yellow. right? And then it changes all over the site. So there's a little bit of intro to CSS variables and how you can templatize your work so that you can reuse it and reskin. Now let's get back into this. So height of 56. So line height 56. I like to set my buttons. I like to set their heights with line height because it also centers the text inside of it. Let's see. I don't have a height on this one. Width. Let's do min width and a padding of let's see, min width of 133. 133 pixels, and then I'm going to add a padding 0 top and bottom, 24 pixels left and right. Because when I do this, when I hold Alt and I touch the edges, so this tells me that there's 24 pixels of padding on left and right. So my buttons will be a minimum of 133 pixels wide. That's as little as they'll be. And this way, when I have larger buttons, let's save. So there it is, they're 133. When I have larger buttons, give me a larger button. There you go. It will have the same padding on left and right, but the button will grow to however big it needs to be. So like this is minimum 133. This is 160, but it's got the same padding left and right. Yeah, bud? Yeah, all right. Well, 11:48. I really got to figure out how to keep this kid sleeping. So I'm gonna go back to the top here. I'm gonna pause really quick and add another awkward time jump, and I'm gonna go put a kid back to bed for the second night in a row. Please excuse me. All right, back to work. Let's try. I want to see what the line height is for this. So if it's 56, it's auto. I hate when it's auto. It doesn't really give me anything to go off of. What is this? 18. 150%, so that's 1.5 M. Okay, well, art button solid. Let's make it block. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's go back to style. And H2's font size, so line height 1.5 M. And let's center this button. So we got hero dot button solid, and I want to do margin auto. It's usually for a display block. So in this case, yeah, because when you have a block level, this is inline block. When you have block level, margin auto usually centers it. So instead, what I need to do with a inline block element, if you go to the container, which is here, and if we do text align center, it centers all inline block elements. So just a neat little trick. And okay, this looks fine. This looks fine. Let me just see what is this margin? 30 and 30. Okay, good. You want to have the same margin here as you do here. That just looks better. And what's the font size on this? 18. So okay, that's 18. Good. And bolded. Do you have a bold? No, let's do font weight bold. And then I think it's got a border radius. 5 pixels. Border radius 3. Let's change that to 5. Now let's work on these guys. So because what I want is I want just the top of the card showing right about here. So what we got to do now is we got to bring this back to life. And you see it's pushing things down. So what I need to do is I want to do position absolute. And then I want to center it horizontally. So you can use this as flexbox, but I'm not going to do that because I just want to center this. I don't want to center everything in the container. So we're going to do left of 50% and a transform translate x of negative 50%. This combination with position absolute will center anything horizontally. So it's centered horizontally. And just, I'm just going to get a background on it right now really quick, just to see where it's at. So there, that's where it's at, centered horizontally, taking up all this space. And I want its width. Oops. Width of 96%. And I want it to be, I want it to come in. Let's do like 94. And bring that in a little bit. And I want to set bottom to negative 100. Let's see what that does. Okay, let's do more. 8, 1500. Interesting. Is this not even moving? Okay, it's moving. It's just incredibly... Okay, so we're going to bring this up a little bit. Oops. That should be good. Border radius of 5. And let's see, so now we got that kind of, so now you can kind of see the card, right? But we gotta adjust all of these. So this is what it's going to look like now. And what I want to do, let me think about let me think about this. So the problem we're running into here is with this incredibly long card. It won't be incredibly long when we're done. I have to do a very large bottom value, and with that, this is actually covering all of the content. You see the picture over there? So I have to set a padding top of like, I don't know, 1,000 pixels just to push all this content down from here. And it just seems like a lot of work. So I think what I have to do, I think I have to put this card, this section, I think I have to put it here so that it will be within the normal flow of things. And I just really, all I gotta do is just transform it and move it up like 100 pixels. Instead of moving things 2,000 pixels and a padding top of 1,000, I get all those crazy numbers. I think what I need to do, whoops. So we're gonna do an audible here. I'm gonna move this down. Okay, so here's hero, here's floating cards. I'm gonna close you. There we go. I'm gonna take you, I'm gonna copy, and in this menu here, in the container, yeah, I'll put it in the container. So I'll put it in here, and then I'll save this. So in our CSS, we're actually going to, so let me close, close, close. Let me grab my cheat sheet for my media queries. So that's tablet, desktop, small desktop, and we're gonna do another one for mobile 0. landing, collapse, and this is going to be menu stuff. So that's the main menu section, and I'm actually going to copy this. 1, 2. So this will be for my next sections. And if you're not familiar with how I do CSS from my previous videos, what's happening here? Because I know it looks freaking wild. I have media queries for all my sections grouped together so that I can access them much faster and easier. So like this, I do media query of 0 min width, which is basically mobile. I do that because I want it to be collapsible. Otherwise, it makes no sense. I'm just doing this because I want to do this with it so that I can easily collapse it if I wanted to see the landing section. I wanted to check out small desktop. Here's all the small desktop code, and here's all the big desktop code, etc. Like I can move up and down my CSS sheet in a much more organized and faster way. And what's cool is I can copy, if I have to move a section, all I got to do is copy my section code, put it wherever I want. Like if I have to move it to a different page, I just take this, copy and paste it, and move it to a different page and put it in the order that it goes, and then recollapse them, and then boom, it's done. That's how you can easily move things between your sites. So it's just a CSS organization that I like to do. I've been doing this for the last few months now, and I love it. This has completely changed the game for me while working. It just makes maintaining these things faster and easier. It makes writing them and editing faster and easier. So I definitely do this. This 0, that's small, that's mobile. 48, that's tablet. 64. So this is going to be your 768 pixels. That's your tablet start off. And then 1024 pixels, that's going to be your small desktop, large iPad Pro, horizontal iPads. Those are all 1024. So that's why you want to target this breakpoint as a starting point, because those are basically the standard screen sizes for small 13-inch desktops and large iPads and horizontal iPads. And then 1300 pixels is the regular desktop, where your standard container is going to be like 1200 pixels wide, and that's kind of where your actual desktop style goes. So we want to have a media query to target all those smaller screens, because not every screen is going to be able to have 1300 pixels to work with. So that's why we have this little 1024, and I think that these are the perfect breakpoints. And in between these, if you need them, you just add your own breakpoints, but these are the best starting points. So with that being said, now we're in our menu, and we have to change. Let's see, we got this. Let's take our floating cards, copy, and paste, but change this to menu, and do not make this position absolute. So that means we don't need left, we don't need bottom. This is a block level element, so I just need margin auto, and it will be centered. And I think I do want it to be 96. Oh, but it's living within a container now, so I just need 100%. So it'll be 100% its container. Okay, let me see this floating. Okay, so this is a card. Floating cards inside a container. Inside this. Okay, I think I got it. Where's my section at? Here we go. I want to make this 10. And where is this section padding coming from? 25. Zero. Okay, that's better. It was just, that padding was just too much. So now this is within the normal DOM order. So this is actually taking up the space that it's taking up here, right? And it's pushing everything else down. That's what I want. And what I get to do now is I can take this and I can translate Y, so I can translate it on the Y-axis, -100 pixels. Let's see. Is menu, is the overflow hidden? No. Maybe I have to z-index this. Z-index 100. Okay, yeah, it looks like because this section, the hero section, looks like it had a higher z-index than the menu section. So when this thing breaks outside of its menu section, if this thing has a higher z-index, meaning it's closer to the screen, and this is farther away from it, this is going to be stuck underneath this. So I just had to use z-index, and I had to bring it up. However, you cannot use z-index on anything. You have to have position relative on your elements in order to use z-index. Otherwise, it won't work. Like if I took this off, it doesn't work. Put it back. Oh my God, it works. So remember that. Now, I want to space these. Well, first of all, just to make this easier, let's just get this out of the way here. This image. So it's going to be the card. So okay, so menu, floating cards. So inside our floating cards, I want the link, and I want the image in the link, and I want that to be display inline block and width of that's not going to tell me. So I'm going to do it I don't know what this is, but let's do it this way. Let's take my rectangle, and it looks like it is 19. Is it 19? Geez, come here. Just about 19 pixels wide. So width, 19 pixels. Let's delete this. Let's zoom back out. And let's just see what this does. Oh my God, so much easier. Okay, so that's easier to work with now. And let's take this image. Let's add a class to it so I can target it. And what I want is I want the menu.dill. Let's hide this for now. Display none. Okay, just so that we're working with our cards. So now this is a lot more manageable. And I think I can bring it up some more. Let's do 180. Too much. 50. Just enough. No, 40. That feels better. That feels better. So now I got this. And let's do our individual card colors. So this one's going to be this. So floating cards. I want the card, and I want the int of type 1. So I want the first type of this card, meaning this one. I want your background to be this color. I'm going to copy paste this 2 times. And I want the second one and the third one. The second one is going to be this color. And the third one is going to be this color. So now we can remove the background on this. And when we save, they will have their colors. Yay! And let's see, what is the padding on these guys? So this looks like it's 36 on top. 36 on the bottom. Okay, so 36 padding, so it looks like it's the same padding everywhere. So on our floating cards, card, padding of, we're on smaller screen, so let's try 20 pixels. Let's try 30. That feels like enough. Okay, that feels fine. And now what I need to do is I need to target these. So you are going to be, it's my H3. So let's copy this. H3, color white, font size is 20. And then the P's, so let's copy these and make this a P. And its font size is also 20. The line height, 1.5 M. So 150% is basically 1.5 M. That's what we're going to do there. And then our A's are going to be the same thing. A is going to be white, font size of 20, and then we want to do text decoration none, so we don't want that underline. And let's just check this out now. So this is what we got. And honestly, this looks too... That's right, it's going to be this color. So what he's doing here is so you'll notice that this is not exactly white. What he's doing is adjusting the HSL values and getting a white that bleeds in some of the background. So that's the color you see here, and that's what we're going to copy. Add the same one here. Yeah. Copy. So P is actually going to have this. And I feel like Archivo regular. I feel like these feel too thick. Let's see, 300. I don't know. Did anything change? Nothing changed. Oh, they just feel too thick. I don't know. Maybe it's just, maybe it looks fine. Maybe I'm just being weird about it. So this needs to have a margin bottom of 18. Let me just zoom in my code really quick, just so it's bigger. I remember somebody complaining. I don't know what you need to say complaining. It was a concern that the code wasn't big enough to see. So I'm just going to make this a little bigger. Actually, is that too big? Because I think, yeah, we'll just do this. So here's our P, and that's got a margin bottom of 24. Okay, and this image, 26 pixels. So I'm going to copy this. We want the image inside the H3. Margin right, 26 pixels. We'll make it a display inline block because images are display inline by default, and you cannot add margins, transforms, line heights, widths. You can't do anything to an inline element like a span or an A tag or an image. They have to have display inline block on them in order to do things to it. So when we go over here, there we go, we got our margin there. Let's see what happens when we make it inline, or when we take this off. So we make this display inline. Oh, maybe it's inheriting block from here. So let's try this. Interesting. Getting it from somewhere else. Well, I don't know why it's working, but it's working. But yeah, I mean, otherwise what it said is true. But maybe it's just because it's inside of an H tag. It behaves differently, but hey, I'm not going to argue with results. So now we got this on the A. Let's do display, flex, align, items, center. And that will align that in the center. And then I want, what is this space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pixels. I had to literally count the pixels for this thing. So I want the A, I want the image inside the A, margin left, 8 pixels. And that'll push that over there. And I want the A to be a font weight, bold. Still doesn't look right. Let's see if I do, if I call bold. Let me see if anything changes. Okay, it looks like it looks a lot better when we actually do the bold. So what I want to do now is where I have font weight bold. Okay, good, I got bold there. H3. So I want to do this. That looks better. Okay. So I make this, what is this, a burger? And then this is salad. There we go. I knew something was going to be bad. So I got to set the widths for these. It should be 26. Image, margin right, so let's do width of 26 pixels. And that should calm those guys down. And let's see. Yeah, they're off centered. So let's add our flex. Whoa. Okay, menu. There we go. Display flex. Let's go to the H3 and let's add that on there. And that should put them in the middle. Perfect. But I don't like the way this looks. Looks like I got fill in icons and one not fill in. So let's fix that. Salad. There we go, now you're loading something. So I want a full one. Oh, I like that. Let's edit. Are you kidding me? Now we gotta wait. Yeah, a little bit. For some reason, they've been taking like a long time to get logins going. There we go. All right, here we go. White. I want an SVG. Open this up. I want to save. Okara Web. Kennedy House. Images. And Salad. Yes. And there it is. Okay, that's much better. Much better icon. So we're going to keep that. I think it's good enough for now. But I don't like the spacing. It feels too close here. So on the card, let's do 36. No. So let's do 36 top and bottom, and then 25 pixels left and right. 130. Let's write 30. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to put more padding bottom, top and bottom. So, okay, so there's that. So this is our home page so far. That's how this is transforming. So I think this is a much better outcome by making this part of the service, the menu section. So these are done. But now what to do with that green thing? Because I think it's just going to be too much. Like when we have, where's that here, dill? So I'm going to do position absolute. That means I got to put floating card, position relative, because that is its container. And let's do a bottom of negative 300 pixels. Here you are. Let's do z index of -1. Okay, maybe it's not bad. Maybe it's not bad. But let me center this. And one of my centering tricks, because when this screen gets bigger, this container gets bigger, and that means if I set this to be right of 0, that means it will also move to the right, because the 0 is the edge of the container. But if the container keeps growing, the position for 0 keeps going farther to the right, and I don't want this thing to move. I want it to stay where it's at. So what we do is we do left of 50%, margin left of 0, and this keeps it centered. So now let's see. So this is 50% to the left of its width. Now if I want to bring it to the left more, I do a negative value, 100 pixels, and that brings it to the left, 400 pixels. No, I don't want that, 200. 180. So you see, if you go more positive, you go to the right. Negative takes you to the left. So however big this screen gets, this will stay right here. Now I think I want this to do 150, and I want bottom to be negative 250. There we go. I can still keep that like fresh looking thing there, but it's not as like, it's not taking up this entire space, which you don't want. It's unnecessary, and it's just bulky. So I'm all about being subtle, especially with my images and on mobile. So we're just going to tuck it away over here and just have this little branch coming in. Now, yeah, our specials. So this is going to be, okay, so this is menu. How do I want to structure this HTML? This is the floating card. Let's just do, okay, so this is for the floating card. Oops. Okay, we're going to close this. This is going to be for specials. Yeah, because I want to separate this from, I want to separate this from the CSS of this. So these guys, I'm gonna group their CSS together. I want this to be by itself. Just makes better sense that way. So if I ever have to move this section, if I have to move this anywhere, I just move it, and I don't have to pick it out of that code. So for maintainability and edits in the future, it's easier if I just separate it in its own little group, so that I can move it wherever I want. Now, we got menu, and we got floating cards. Okay, so if I close this, menu content, it's container 2, okay. Actually, it's getting really hard to see. I think this is big enough. It's getting really, that one's too big like this. It's just, it seems like a lot of work. Let's zoom out and see if we can get away with that. So this is going to be our specials. Let's open up our mobile, do menu. Let me go in here. I think I'm just going to leave that menu in there. So we're going to do menu, and we're going to do all of the H2s. That's right, you are in the way here. Unless I bring you all the way down. There we go. So this is my H2, yeah. Let's just do menu H2. Font size 36. And I want to grab that. It's going to be bold. And I think that's good. Color, black. There you are. And now our H2 or H3s. So we're going to copy this. Our H3s are going to be 20. Still with the bold. Now, our margin bottom is going to be 8. And our margin bottom on this guy is going to be 36. And then our P's are going to have a margin bottom of 36. So there's that, right? Now, what do we do about the $10? So I can do, so this $10 band price H3. So it's going to be right here. Its color is going to be this red. Oops. It's going to be that red, and it's going to be bold. Font size of 2020, okay. So we have that. Oops. Now, what I could do is I can float it right. And that's going to be one of the few times that you actually can or should or would use a float, because it's sitting inside of this, oh, it looks like this dill. So you see how this dill is, it's covering everybody. So what I want to do, there's two options I can do. I can either set its Z index to -1. So I can set Z index to -1, and it should go behind everybody, but it's not, so it's being difficult. So what I can do is pointer events, none. That way, my cursor doesn't even recognize it's there. And it's basically, it's like they had a breakup and the image is giving me the silent treatment. It won't let me touch it. So that's one way to fix that if you have overlapping stuff. So now, as you see how this is inside of the H3, and we're just floating it to the right. That's all we're doing. So I think I'm gonna stay with that. That is one of the few useful uses of float. And now what I want to do, let's try this line. I'm just going to try it. I don't know how it's going to look. Let's try it out. Let's just try it out. So width, let's just do 70 pixels. Height, 2 pixels. That's going to be this color. So actually, we don't need a height on it. Actually, we're going to do a border, 2 pixels, dotted, or dash, and that color. So there's that. Oh, border bottom. Now where are you? I think I gotta give it a height. Oh, display. I gotta make it display inline block. There we go. Because spans are inline elements, so I can't add a width to it. I have to make it a display inline block so that its width can be seen. And let's do 80. Cool. And let's just do a margin left of like 10. Too much. 6. Let's see. I want it to go down. So let's translate Y, 3 pixels. No. 1. Okay. Or are they going down the center? Oh, they're going down the center. So I need H3, display, flex, align items, center. So that means everything inside of this H3 will be aligned in the center on the vertical axis. And justify content. Space between. Yeah, so space, but we can actually remove this float now. So this space between all of these elements, you see this purple right here? It's going to automatically create space between these elements, and it's going to push them away to the edge of the container. So by doing this, this actually moves to the far right, and the space between them is always going to be even. So that's the power of Flexbox. And let's reduce this size to 70 because this is getting too close over here. Okay, so that's those guys. That's set up. Now we got to set up this image. Which is in container 2. Got it. Okay, so then I'll do menu. Container 2 image. Display. I want to say block for now. Margin. Auto. And we're going to do width 100%. So it takes up 100% of the screen. And let's give it some space. 50 pixels top and bottom. Just to give it some room. And so these are already set by the menu. So you see how these are getting the exact same style. Cool. That's what we want. I don't have to do this again. So this is done. This is done. And now we're on this section. So you'll notice in the design what we have here. This is in the on the left. This is on the right. So in the HTML, this is on top. This is on top of the image, but here the image. Excuse me, here's the I'm trying to fight this. God, it's almost 1 a.m. here. Sorry, guys. Here we go. I want this to be underneath this. I want this to be on top. But let me see. So I have an image here. Do this. I guess I can have an image here. Usually with these, you want the image on top so that they're like associated with each other. So let's go ahead and close this. Let's give this a copy because I'm going to need another section. And this is going to be community. Now let's open this up. So in our community, we got community dot container. I want this to be a flex box. Oh yeah, here's another one. Alright. And now what I want to do is I want to target the flex items. So this container is a flex item now. It's a flex box now. Display flex. So I want community.content. I'm going to use the order property. So I want it to be the second item in this flex box. And then I want the image box, image group. I want its order. I want it to be the first item in the flex group. Also, since we're going up top and bottom, it is flex direction of row by default. So we have to set this to column to go up and down. And now this is on top of that. And what I need to do for this, let's just do width of 80%. Oh, that's right. Image group. Oh, I guess, see, the image group is 80%, but the image is breaking its container because it's an inline element and it's not, it doesn't behave, it doesn't listen. So we need to do the image group, image, and display. Oops. Block. And we do width of 100% of its container, and there it is. So now we need to margin bottom. Let's do like 70 pixels. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that pseudo. So what I need to do is pull out my, this is my code for pseudo elements. I'm going to copy and paste it. So we want, oops, community dot image group before, that's your pseudo element. Pseudo elements are basically, you get before and you get after. They're just basically elements you create in CSS and not in HTML. You create these elements and they are attached to their parent. So that means this. So wherever this goes, like if I set this to be top and right of 0 into this corner, wherever this moves, if I move this up, this moves up with it because it's relatively, it's attached to this. It's like having conjoined twins in CSS. Your before and after elements, they are parasitic twins of this image group, and they are attached to it at all times. So let's copy this and paste this text. And inside your pseudo elements, you're going to have your content, which is usually, you can add text in here, and then you can move that text around. But most of the time, if you're going to make shapes, that's just going to be an empty quote. So position absolute, so that means I have to do position relative, so that I can use position absolute on it. Height and width of 100%. I think that's what I want to do. background our primary. Actually, what I want it to do, I want its height. I want it to be taller. So we're going to do 130%. And then on this, we're going to do display. Well, yeah, we do display flex line item center. And let's do a z-index of -1 so that this goes behind it, and a z-index of 1 on the parent. So there's that. And that is not doing what I wanted it to do. So I remove this. So this is 130% the height. What I want this to be is I want it to be in the center, so it's hanging over equally. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do top 50%, transform, translate y, -50%. So I'm going to center it. This is how you center absolutely positioned elements. Vertically, top 50%, transform, translate on the y-axis, -50%. And there you go. Now it is, in the center, and I want this to go right of -30. And there we go. So what's nice is this element, this image group, like if I moved it, I gave it. Sorry, I just saw some lights in my. I was like, who's driving it to my house at 1 a.m.? So it's good, it's the neighbor. So if I do transform, and if I move this, oh, darn it. Well, let's just do this here. So if I transform, translate X, so if I move this thing over like -40 pixels, you see this before, it goes with it. If I remove it, it moves with it. That's what is awesome about pseudo elements, and that you can do that. So now it looks off-centered because this pseudo element is, it's not part of the DOM structure. It's a position absolute, so it's just floating there. And here we go. Technically, this image group. So I have to move this over 80%. I think I'm going to do margin auto. Okay, so that centers this image, but you see, because of this coming over, this doesn't look as centered. So I want to transform this, translate X. Let's do -10. Let's shift it over. Let's do like 13, 15. That looks about even. No, 13. There you go. That looks about even now. So, I like it. I dig it. Where that's to? Yeah, that's fine. So now we got this span. So this is 36. 36. Okay, so I want to keep all of my fonts consistent. So if I have this H2 at 36, my other H2 should be also 36. So now that we got our image group and our images, community H2, font size 36 pixels. A little big, but I think we can get away with it. And then we want this span. We want this to also be underlined. So we're going to take this, italic, and we're going to do font style, italic, and text decoration underline. And there's that. And this is bold. So this needs to be bolded. copy. Bold, and this is not bold, this is just regular, so this is archival regular. So that's bolded, that's not bolded. Beautiful. Okay, and this has a margin bottom. Okay, there's a line height 44. Okay, so now that's exact, and that is 16 pixels margin bottom. This P has a margin bottom of 24. Let's do this community. Now let's do our P. And this is going to have a font size of 17 pixels, line height 1.5 em, and its color a little lighter. Okay, I think that's everything we need. So that's that, and now, oh, our link. This doesn't have the class. So notice when we add our little button, solid. There you go. It's like having our own little framework, but without the CDN or the bloat or the craziness. So I think this looks good. This, see this spacing? Needs to equal this spacing. So this image group, the margin bottom, 70, let's try 80. Push that a little bit. Let's try 90. There we go. This, we want this to be even. There, I think that looks better. And now, oh, this our story, not our, okay, our story. So I'm just going to link this right now, /HTML /about.html. As the page is not created yet, but it will be. So now we're into the reviews. Now, so we're going to have these guys on top. So let's set up our background. And we're going to close this. I think I need to do this one more time. There's our reviews. And yeah, we're going to use this code that I saved in my cheat sheet to do our background. So when you do a background image on any element, you're always going to have the background, the URL of the image you want. Background size, you choose cover to cover the whole dang thing. Background position, it tells it where to be, so I want it to be centered. And I don't want the background to repeat, so I want it to cover everything, so it'll stretch the image without repeating in the center. You're going to use these all the time, so that's why I have them copy and pasted. So I think testimonials, that's what it is. So this one is, yeah, see, these are getting really long and crazy. So I think I gotta contain these stars. These stars are killing me. So let's just get to these guys first. .reviews, .ratings, .stars, image, display, inline block. And I want them to be width of 18. Reviews, why is this not working? So .stars, inside the .ratings, inside reviews. Are we not even looking at the same? Okay, I see what's happening here. So these are stars. This star, okay, star group. Apparently I have the wrong class, so let's just make this star group. And then save that. This one's instead of being stars, I'm gonna start a group. Oh, I'm dumb. Oh, this is stars, so this is the top. This is only the top ones. Stars. Yeah, so this is going to be this. This is actually this one right here. So now we got to target these, which are in star group. Actually, let's just copy this, comma, instead of writing the CSS again. Oh, it looks like I'll have to do that anyway. Alright, copy, undo everything I did. Instead of being in ratings, it's going to be .review. There we go. Now they're contained. Okay. And what I want to do is I want that pseudo element again on reviews. I'm going to add a pseudo element as an overlay. So to do that, we're going to do position relative, reviews before, and we go down to my handy dandy pseudocode, paste, reformat. I want it to be black and 0.6. So there's that. Let's do 0.7. Or what is it in here? 8.8. There we go. But you're seeing it's on top of everything. So let me try the z index -1 and z index of 1 and z. For some reason that works. I don't know why. But now I'm just going to do these colors. Okay. So let's start with here. You're going to be reviews. And H2. White, font size, 36 pixels, line height, 44. And that's going to be Archivo bold. Ah, style. No. Size. Okay, and so we're going to create, we have to create this. Let's just zoom in here. So what we got is, it's going to be ratings. So that's going to go after our H2. Our reviews before, this actually has to go right after reviews. It has to go right here. So then, okay, here's our stars, ratings. So we're going to do it up here, because we want to target ratings, so this has to go here. And a background of white. Okay, so there's that. And it's got to be height 51. And let's do display flex. And I want to justify content, I want to make it space between all of the elements. And then on line items, center. So I want them to have equal space between them. And then, whoops. I don't want that. There we go. It is 24 pixel padding left and right. So 0 top and bottom, 24 left and right. And so if this is a height of 51, it is border radius be 26. So to make a pill shape, you got to do your border radius to be half of its height. We're not exactly 50. It would be 25 if it was exactly 50, but because it's 51, it's a little bigger. We're just going to go 1 pixel bigger, and then that will create that. Ratings. Oh, that's right. Oh, we don't want this on the ratings. We want this on the stars. So stars. So when we do that, it'll just be on the stars. And it'll bump that thing to the bottom. Their width is 24. Their width is 24. So these should be spaced about right. And this span, archival regular. So we got stars, ratings, not stars. So the image. Now we want the span. So font size 18. Color. It's going to be this color. Okay, so that's closer to that. Now this, I forgot to add a class to this one. Google link. So that spans there. So let's do the star. No, ratings. And that comes after stars. Google link. Okay, so your color is going to be white. Font size 18. Text align center, obviously. What else do I need? I think that's it. It's going to be that. Because it's also a span. I'm going to do display, block, margin, auto. So we'll hopefully center here. So that's right, this A tag here. Then I got to grab the Google link. The A tag I also want it to be white. But the text declaration underlined. So it's underlined. And these guys are 16 pixels down. So I want stars. Margin bottom of 16. That'll push that down. And that's how you make that. Nice and easy. And now we got to do these review blocks. So how big are these? 360. They're a little wider than 320s. So how did I want to do this? I think this was an absolute. This is going to be position absolute. This is going to be block. This is going to be in its own thing. So here's a star group. That's our stars. All right, review top. Let's see. I'm trying to wonder why I have this review top. I think this was only supposed to be for the top. Let's see. I'm just thinking right now. Yes. So this closing div should be containing all of the top. And then you have to move over here. So I gotta do that. And reviews. I'm just gonna move the top. I don't need to see you. So this is one review. It's getting a little messy, so let's add a comment. Review 1. Review 2. Review 3. Just to clean it up so we can break this up. So now we gotta review top. We gotta move this. Okay, that was there. Here we go. We gotta move this one because we already did that one. Move this over, and then number 3. Take this one. Put it right here. Move this over. Okay, because I had review top. Look, I started it to just contain the image, the name, and the stars, so I can separate it from the rest. And then I just forgot to close it, and I just added the P in there by mistake. So that's what we're cleaning up right now. So now we're gonna save that, and that doesn't really have any effect on anything we did. So the first thing I want to do is add some space on the on this guy. It's going to be on. How do I want to target it? Top. H2s. Top has ratings. So here's ratings. So it goes right here. Push that down. Cool. Now let's get into the actual reviews. So reviews dot. Okay, review 1. So let's just start with whoops. Review. Okay, reviews dot review. So review section. And I want the review container here. And I want to focus on review top. So what I want to do is, first thing I want to do is get this, let's get this span out of the way. Name. Oh no, it's going to be black. Actually, so we have to set this. We have to set the review first. Background. You can see what the heck we're doing. So we got the background. And looks like the padding is going to be 36. So let's just do the same padding as we did for the cards. Padding of 36 top and bottom, and 20 pixels left and right. I think it was, or 30. There you go. So they all fit in there. That looks fine. So right away that helps. So let's do this now. Dot review. Well, let's just do dot review name. That means as specific as we need to get. So this is going to be color black, font size 18 pixels, and it's going to be bold. So copy. Bold. That's bold now. Okay. What I want to do is I need to put this image. I gotta get this out of the way. So review. This is going to be right here. I want to do .top. Right? No, review top. I want to be more specific. I want this review top image right here. This is going to be position absolute. And I think review top. So because we do that, now I have to make its container review top position relative. So here's review top. We're targeting this image. I want it to be position absolute. So that means I have to make its parent review top position relative. Now I want this to be left of 0 and top of, I don't know, 5. Review top. Oh, I'm too specific on this image. I gotta remove that. There we go. So now it is out of the normal flow. So these guys are basically ignoring it. So what I need to do is I need a padding. So right there and right there. 52 pixels. That's the space between this and the left side. That's how we're going to do it. So our review top, padding left of 52 pixels. And what's that going to do? It's going to push them away while this thing is absolutely positioned. And it looks like it actually might be negative. Let's try this. Let's see. Okay, so here's the, let's see, this is the top. Oh no, it looks like its top is 0. Top 0. Oh, wait a minute. Because this image tag, because I'm targeting all the images inside review top, but these images are also part of it. So I want the picture. That's right, that's why I gave it a class.picture. Because that's why the stars aren't here. This image that I used was too broad. It did all of the images, so that was a mistake. And now they're back. So now I want to target the value. Oops, copy. Name, picture. There. So I actually want to put this underneath the name because this is underneath the name. So view top dot value. Gonna be font size 18 pixels. Color is black. And I think that's really all we need to know about you. But we need this to be centered. So my star group, do I have a star group? That's gonna be below this. So review top. Star group. Display, flex, align items, center. That's going to center them. It doesn't feel centered though. I'm going to do a margin top of like 2 pixels. Yeah, that feels better. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lost count. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pixels. So value has a margin left of 8 pixels. So it pushes that away. Okay, that looks fine. These guys, though, margin left of 3. Yeah, they gotta go. So these, okay, so star group, image, I want your margin right to be 3 pixels. However, I don't want the margin right of the last one to be 3 pixels because that'll push that over. So what I want to do is I want to target the last one. Let's do display inline block so I can add a margin to that. So image, last of type, margin right of 0. So it only pushes, this has a very faint margin right of 3 pixels, but this one does not. Margin right of 0. That way it doesn't mess up the flow of anything. Okay, and this, so star group has a margin bottom of 24. That pushes that down. And these reviews, review. So I'm going to do margin bottom of 40. Seems like enough. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's done. That's not too bad. So that's our review section. And then we just got these guys. So join us for lunch. So again, this is going to be a 36, I assume. Yes. So let's bring this back up. So for now, we're going to be down here in the call to action. Let's close this up. This is going to be CTA, call to action. CTA H2, font size of 36 pixels, and line height 44. And of course, we got our bold. These things are kind of bold. Okay, and this is going to be 17. No, we're going to make this 18 because everything else is 18, right? 16, 16. Wait, what were these supposed to be? 17? Well, I guess I was wrong. Okay, so we're going to make these. P, font size 17 pixels. Line height 1.5 em. That's better, okay. So this will be 17. We'll close this. Okay, and see a margin bottom of 16. And that means margin bottom of P. Let's make that 24. And what is this? For a logo. Oh, that's right. Got a pretty big padding on this one. What is this doing here? What is that? Oh, that's just an empty one that I'm not using. Alright, that's better. So yeah, that's it for that section. do I want to make it left align, or do I want to center this? Yeah, I think I want to center it, just because it's mobile. That feels better. So now we're in the footer. And we're in the home stretch. It's almost it's 1:30 a.m. So let's rip through this, and now I'm just going to go to sleep after this. So our footer is going to be in our core styles. Let's zoom this up a little bit. So let's just hide this, hide. I don't need these keyframes actually, these are remnants of an old build. So footer, here's our footer, and honestly it's just gonna be easier if I delete them all because we're starting from scratch with a completely different footer. So here's our mobile. Alright, footer time. So ID of footer, background of this. So I think this is a darker color. And now, so that's the logo that we're missing, so that's not going to go there. So we got that, that's what we're missing. So I'm going to do all P, footer P. And I think that's going to be an LI too. So that's 20. That's 20, and they're all going to have that same color. So footer P, footer LI. And I think I'm comfortable with that color. That. So there's that. Oh, interesting. I made a mistake of including this with this. I actually want this to be separate because it's showing up right here. So let's move that. This needs to go outside of everybody. So right section, so it goes right there at the bottom. Text decoration none. List style none. Oh no, I want list style on the LI. Alright, there we go. Remove those. And then we gotta do, because all of your ULs, all of your unordered lists are gonna have a padding left. So right here, that green, we need that to be 0 so they can do what we want them to do. That's weird. Over that. Okay, so then our headings. So footer equal above the UL. It's going to be class of heading. Going to be color of white. Font size 20. And it's going to be the bold. Okay, footer P. So then after our P's, I want my button solid. You're going to be white with that as your color. Alright, so there's that. Our, let's see, this is going to be padding bottom 24 of our P. Margin bottom 24. Okay. Now looks like we need to have consistent font size. That's better. And let's add a margin bottom 50. Push these guys down. And my footer, I want a padding top and bottom of 50 pixels. I'm just missing my logo there. That's why it's all being janky. Okay, so navigation, 16 pixels margin bottom. And then the LIs, margin bottom of 8. And we do line height, 1.5 m, font size of 20 pixels. And that should be about right for that. That should be contact us, right? Contact, not us, contact. Okay, so now I gotta tame these images here inside of this. So we are in footer li a, the image inside, display inline block. 14, 18, okay. So they gotta be different widths. I think I'm just gonna add a class. So this is gonna be phone, and then this is gonna be our phone icon, just to be more specific. Class equals mail icon, and I'm gonna do dot phone icon first, and I want its width to be 12. And then I'm gonna do this again. I want mail icon. I want this to be 18, and that's right there. Doesn't feel right though. Yeah, let's make these a little bigger. Okay, let's do a footer icon A. Again, let's we want them. Yeah, we want them centered. So under A, we want to do display, flex, line items, center. Now we'll center them. And then these mail icons, margin right of 16. honestly, I'm just repeating myself. So let's get rid of this. And let's just make this an A image. There's that. And then we're just going to do this. Which is our copy. So let's do a class equals credit. Display block. Color. It's going to be that nice pinky. Font size 18. Line height, let's just do 1.5M because it's giving me auto, so that could be anything. Okay, now we need to do the A. So credit A. I also want these. Well, I want these. So that's the same. Text decoration underline. Let's actually give this a space. And let's do text line center, margin auto. So it's in the center. And let's do a margin top 50. Give it some space there. That's your click to email. Let's do FT sub. Your URL, heading, button solid. That's going to go right here. And I want the first one, so length of type 1. Margin bottom 50. Just to get that extra space there. That's 50, 50, 50. And that's it. That's mobile. So let me just check. So I'm going to scroll up. This is what we did. And now I want to check the bigger screens and see if I have to make any adjustments. Oh my god. What is this? So I want to fix that. We're in loading card. So the H3. I want to justify content. Flex start. There we go. I want to push it to the start, which is left. That's what flex start does. So this is the whole item. It's pushing everything to the left, which is the start. And then this is pushing this away, so that creates that spacing. Okay, that's good. Specials, the line can use some tweaking. But honestly, I mean, the line's going to have to be individually tweaked for whatever goes here. So I'm just going to ignore that. But I mean, this looks fine. I like that this is right above the food. What I can do, though, is I think I want to pull this up. But I also don't, because if I transform this, if I make this go up any further, it's going to create more gap here. So I think I'm going to try, let's add a media query. For 375 pixels. I'm going to do hero margin bottom of -100 pixels. Too much. 30. So what this margin bottom negative does is it's basically pulling this section over. So instead of pushing this section away when you do a margin bottom, negative or margin negative, it pulls it toward it. So I wanted to pull this section toward it so that this section doesn't have any gapping issues. Like if I try to push this higher, there'd be more gap. I don't want that. So I'm pulling the entire section over, but I don't want to cover the waffle all the way. But I still want this visible. So let's make this 30. I think that's fine. So that looks good, that looks good, that's fine, that's fine. Everything looks fine. Let's try pluses. So yeah, that was pretty easy, right? That's mobile. Now, oh, actually, not entirely. We forgot horizontal, and it's freaking ugly. So let's figure this out. So what is my min width for this? I think it was like 568. I gotta check something real quick. I gotta check one of my older builds. What was my? Cause it was a range. I have a range, and it makes things easier when it's in the range. There we go. Here it is. I'm just gonna copy and paste this. So this is for landscape, and I like to do landscape between this because I only want these styles to apply for landscape. Because tablet's going to be a whole different thing. So in here, I want my hero to actually be in height of 500 pixels. So I want it to be higher because it's set to 100% of the view height, and our view height now is a lot smaller. And what I need to do is hero h1, 300 pixels, 350. There we go. And we're doing margin of, well, margin left auto, margin right auto, so we can center it. And what is your font size actually? So it's like 56. So let's try 40. Okay, all right. Let's get a bigger height. And let's do. Is it on this? There we go. Hero content. Let's bring this higher. Instead of 80, let's do 50. Yeah, that feels a little better. I like to give that some space. And let's make this wider. Dang it, I keep clicking on this. 80. I don't like that. This is called an orphan, where you have a line, like one word on its own line. We don't do that. So let's make this wider. There we go. Spread it out a little bit. All right, this landing looks better now. So you scroll down here. I don't like this. This needs to come in. So I think it's going to be content actually. I think I can set this. Let's close you. Playing card special. So I think I can set this here. I think it's going to be menu and content. So it'll go above these guys. Menu width. width of 100% and a max width of what is it? There it is. 480. A margin of auto to center it. So let's see, this should shrink it and center it. Perfect. I can take that. Now this image, so this image here is with 100% max width. Let's do 400. There we go. When we set that max width, it'll grow and it'll grow and it'll grow, but it'll stop at 400. So it's still responsive, but it stops at a certain point. You know, you don't need everything to go from edge to edge. So again, these lines, I'll fix these lines once I actually have like menu item names, because these are all going to have to be individually changed. I can't think of another way to do it, honestly. So this is too big. So community, image group, width of 80%, max width 400 pixels. That seems to be the butter zone. And same thing for content, 100% max width 400 pixels. And then let's do margin auto to center it. Because you don't want the text to be too long. And this is good, for God's sakes. Okay. I think we got to set a max width here. .406. See what that does to the H over here. I think I gotta center it. Yeah. What's this look like on? Actually, I want this to be centered. I don't know how I missed that. That's bad. See, that's better. It was stupid to have a text align left. And now these guys, so 300 is the max width for, I think it's called top. Max width of, let's do 300 pixels. Margin left, auto. Margin right, auto to center it horizontally. There's that. Oh, but that also cuts that down. Dang it. I think it's the stars then, max width. There we go. Yeah, because I want this to go, because top also includes the H2. So by setting this to min width of 300, it was actually shrinking this, because this is a min width of 406. So I had to set this to be the max width. Okay, so that's fine. And our max width on these are 360. So our review themselves, margin left auto, margin right auto. Again, that should shrink these and center them. There we go. So that's as big as they're going to get for all the way up to desktop. So that's good. That's good. All right. So now let's just see what's going on here. So, okay. So these are stacked. That's cool. Everything's nice in the middle. This is too long. I don't like this. So let's go back, because we don't need to make another media query. We can set this here with a max width. So I want and margin left, oops, auto, margin right, auto, let's see what that does, that's good. Let's take this, copy, paste it, and let's make this a little bigger, a little wider, 500. There you go, it's a little better. That's not good. I don't like that. Footer P. Let's do 300. Honestly, can I fit these guys? Can I fit these lengthwise? 300. Okay, let's copy. I'm gonna take this. So on this screen size, 250. Okay, and I want. Okay, let's see. So we got left section container. I want footer container. Display flex. Justify content space between, so it pushes them. And then I gotta target the credit. I want that to be a width of 100%. And then I need this to wrap, so flex wrap, so that this will wrap and go to the next line. So that's down here. What's happening to you guys? Are they not fitting? So it looks like these guys are wrapping. Oh, I also have to do it to the right section. Okay, so if I do footer, and I do this, oh, that's right. Okay, and line item center. And I think you're gonna make the footer P longer, E. Okay, see that's a little better. Things fit a little nicer in the footer. So these are the things we gotta take into consideration. A lot of times people don't think about doing media queries for landscape, but people will look at your website on landscape, and if it's broken, it's not going to be good. So I think this is good. This is good for tablet. We're just missing our logos, which I'm gonna grab from them later on. I just want to get this thing done. So here we go. Now we're done. That's mobile. I think that's fine. I'm just debating how I feel about this. I'm gonna do a 40. What is this? Hero margin bottom. 375. So if I go down, see it fills up here, but then once we get to the bigger phones, I think I'm going to do another one. So 414 for the bigger iPhone Pluses, etc. Hero H1, font size 40, 46. Okay, there we go. I just didn't like a one long line, so I shrunk it so that it goes to 2 lines, but then we got an orphaning in. There we go. Shrink it to 2 lines. Make this cover that. Just like it's like an overlapping a little bit, but I wanted to make this bigger. So that's what we're gonna do for 414s. So as you can see, we have a little more media queries here, but that's because I'm trying to take into account all of the screen sizes so that it has its unique like sizing for any possible screen size between the smallest and the largest. Because what looks good on the smallest won't look good on the largest, so we have to adjust. And that's just part of putting in that little extra. So these will change. This looks good. It's a nice simple website. This is a breeze. This is an easy one. Tablet and desktop are going to go by super fast because we already set the styles in mobile. So where we are now, we've basically already added all the core styles for this website. So when we go to tablet and desktop, all we're really doing is just adjusting layouts, and we're not doing too much building or designing or styling. We're actually just moving things around, making them bigger. And that's why I'm a huge proponent for mobile first, because it's just such a more efficient way of working, and it's easier to maintain. The code behaves nicely instead of having to shrink your website to fit in the mobile screens and remove things and try to fight with all the you might have to make like 8 breakpoints just to get something to fit without breaking. But if you make it mobile first and make it grow into its space, it just makes life so much easier because you're not forcing it to fit the screens. You're actually letting it breathe and letting it fill the screens itself as the screen gets bigger. And that makes for a better experience, not just for the user, but for you, because you don't have to bang your head against the wall every half an hour wondering why the heck none of this is working and why is this breaking its container, why do I got to do this. But mobile first all the way. So I remember when I tried my very first website I tried to do on my own. I did it desktop first, and I almost quit doing web development doing that. It was awful. I thought that I just wasn't a good programmer. I'm never going to be able to do this if I'm having this much trouble on such a stupid, simple website that I can't make a mobile screen, and there's like 100 different issues that are wrong, and I felt dumb because nothing was working. And I just felt like no matter how many tutorials I watched, like nothing was materializing in front of me. And that's when I said, screw it. I'm going to do this new thing mobile first, and I'm going to see what happens. And then that's where things really started to click for me. And that's when I really started to feel the electricity coming from my fingers, like I was a freaking wizard. Like I feel like I got it. I feel like I know it now. It started to click, and it started to make sense because I did not run into nearly the same issues that I did when I was doing desktop first. And that's what made me feel like, okay, maybe I can do this. And that's what gave me the motivation to keep going. Like I finally felt like I had a breakthrough. And it's those moments where things just click. You have your breakthrough. That's where you get your second wind for this profession, where you feel like, maybe I can do this. And you'll get a few of those throughout the course of your learning. So whenever you do get discouraged, just know that at some point there will be a breakthrough. This is a fun job. You will get it if you practice and just try to just try to do things simpler and easier, and that's what mobile first is, and that's what this CSS I'm doing is. That's what this is. So just try to adopt the things that I've learned along the way, coming from a non-computer science background. Like I didn't go to school for this. I had to learn everything on my own. So hopefully me going over these videos, these mobile first, and all these CSS tricks and how to quickly do the things that I do, it prevents whoever's watching this from having to go through the same headaches and frustrations I did, because you're watching somebody that has already gone through it and can explain you through it, so you don't have to do it. So I hope these videos are helpful. It's the end of my little, it's like 2 a.m. I get a little preachy at 2 a.m. So, thanks for watching, and I'm going to go to bed, and we'll do tablet in the next video. So, yeah, hopefully this helps. I know it's simple, but sometimes you just need to see how these are done. So, now let's take a crack at tablet tomorrow. Again, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.